Hi guys, I'm going to peek through my mask real quick. This is Miss Kaye from the library. And because I'm at the library, we're wearing masks. I hope that when you all go out that you know people that are grown up and they're wearing their masks. Well, we're going to talk about Thanksgiving today because Thanksgiving is the next big holiday that's coming. And I have some special guests here today that are going to help us. But first, I want to tell you a story. This is the story of Tom Turkey. Now, Tom was new on the farm, and he was trying to get to know all the other animals. And he was walking along, strutting along, and he saw the cat. And he said, "Hello there. My name is Tom Turkey, and I'm the new turkey on the farm." "Oh," she says. "I see. My, but aren't you brown?" "Why, yes, I am," he said. "Oh, yeah, you look like a big pile of mud walking around." "What?" said Tom. "Well, you know, you look like mud. You're all brown." "Oh," said Tom. It hurt his feelings. And he said, "Well, what color do you think I should be?" And she said, "Well, you know, blue is a lovely color, like the sky and like the pond, and blue would be nice." "Well, I don't know how to be blue," he said. "Oh, I think there's some paint in the barn. Why don't you go in the barn and paint yourself blue?" "Okay," said Tom. So Tom gathered himself up, and he went to the barn, and when he came back out, he was blue, blue, blue. He was as blue as the sky. And he was walking around, and he saw the farm dog. And he goes, "Hello, my name is Tom." "Hi, my name is Rover," said the dog. "Man, are you blue?" "Well, yes, I am blue. The cat thought I would be better blue." "Woo, you about took my eyes out. I thought somebody's going to splash some water in my face." "You don't like me being blue?" "Well, you know, you're just so blue." "Well, what color do you think I should be?" "Well, let's see. Green is good. Grass is green, and I like grass. I eat it sometimes. I like to roll in it. Green would be good." So Tom turned around, and he went back to the barn, and he found a can of green paint. You know what he did? That's right. He painted himself bright green. Well, he was walking around, but he wasn't strutting like he'd been before because he'd already had other animals tell him that maybe he wasn't as good as he should be. So he was walking around, and he came across a cow. And the cow said, "Woo, are you green or what?" "Why, yes, I am," said Tom. "You look like a big pile of moving grass," said the cow. "Well, I don't mean to. The dog thought I looked good being green." "Well, that dog doesn't know anything." "Well, what color do you think I should be?" "Well," said the cow, "I like red. You know, when the sun sets in the afternoon, it turns red, and it's absolutely beautiful. You should be red, and then you'd be beautiful." "Okay," said Tom. And he went to the barn, and you guessed it, he painted himself red. Bright red. I mean, he was red, red, red. But he's not strutting anymore, and he's not holding his head up because now he feels like he's not good enough. And he saw a lamb. And the lamb came bouncing by, and the lamb says, "Oh, my! I thought you were a fire. I saw you walking, and you're so red, and I thought, oh, no, it's a fire, and I almost ran away. Isn't that silly, huh?" "You thought I looked like a fire?" said Tom. "Well, yeah, you're so red." "You don't think I look good red?" "Well, if you want to be a fire." "Well, what color do you think I should be?" said Tom. Yellow is nice. You know, the sun is yellow, and it's so warm and friendly. You ought to make yourself yellow." "Okay," said Tom. So he went back to the barn again, and he painted himself bright yellow. And he was just as yellow could be. And he was walking around, and he was not happy. And some of the animals wouldn't even bother to look at him anymore. And he got lonelier and lonelier, and he felt really bad about himself. And he wasn't watching what he was doing. All of a sudden, he bumped into something. And he looked, and it was Sally. And Sally lived at the farm. And she said, "Oh, look, it's the turkey we've been expecting. I'm so glad to meet you. My name is Sally, and I know your name is Tom. And We're so glad. And before she could get anything else, Tom burst into tears. And she started stroking his head, and she said, "What is wrong, Tom? What is wrong?" And he said, "Nobody likes me. I tried to be the color that everybody else wanted me to be. I tried to be everything that everybody else wanted, and it just didn't work." And she said, "Oh, Tom, you're great the way you are." "No, I'm not." And she said, "I tell you what, Tom, let's see if we can wash some of that paint off." Because she could tell by the way all these feathers were glued together that he'd been painting himself. So she got out a big tub of water, and she filled it up with lots of soap. And she scrubbed, and she scrubbed, and she scrubbed. And when Tom came out of that big tub of soap, you know what? He wasn't just brown anymore. He wasn't all red and all green and all yellow and all blue. Instead, all those paints would not wash out. And when he came out of that tub, Sally said, "Look at your tail. Tom, you're beautiful." And he went over to the water and he looked and he said, "I am beautiful. And it's okay to be me." You remember that too. Tom learned it. Hope you've learned it without having to paint yourself. So today, we have a special guest. We actually have two special guests. Our first special guest is Miss Sue. Miss Sue, do you want to tell them why you're here and what you're going to do?
My name is Miss Sue. I work here at the Chattanooga Public Library, and I also play the viola. Now, the viola is much like a violin, only it's a little bit bigger, and it's more like an alto voice than a soprano voice. Usually in the string family, we have the violins, the violas, the cellos, and then the big daddy string basses. But today, I've got the viola with me, and it's like the alto voice. We have 4 strings on the viola. The top one is the A string. One of the middle ones is D. The other middle is G. And then the very lowest string that we have is the C string. So I will be playing along on the next song, and you'll get to hear the viola.
Okay, and our next special guest is Miss Kayla.
Hi.
Now, we are going to sing a song, and Miss Kayla is going to do the hand movements to this song, and I'm going to show you the book, and Miss Sue is going to be kind enough to play the viola with us. Now, you can sing along, I hope you will, and you can do the hand movements that Miss Kayla's going to do. And this is a funny story about a turkey at Thanksgiving. And this one is titled, "Turkey on the Farm." The turkey on the farm says, "Gobble, gobble, 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 gobble." The turkey on the farm says, "Gobble, gobble, gobble, Thanksgiving Day is near." The farmer on the farm goes, "Chop, chop, 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 chop." The farmer on the farm goes, "Chop, chop, chop, Thanksgiving Day is here." The turkey on the farm says, "Please help me, please help me, please help me." The turkey on the farm says, "Please help me, Thanksgiving Day is near." The children on the farm say, "Hide in here, hide in here, hide in here." The children on the farm say, "Hide in here, Thanksgiving Day is near." The wife on the farm looks all around, all around, all around. The wife on the farm looks all around. Thanksgiving Day is here. The people on the farm eat KFC, KFC, KFC. The people on the farm eat KFC. Thanksgiving Day is here. The turkey on the farm says, "Gobble, gobble, 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 gobble." The turkey on the farm says, "Gobble, gobble, gobble, Thanksgiving Day has passed." That turkey is glad it's passed. Can you give a hand to Miss Kayla and Miss Sue? Yay, good job, thank you. So now we're going to, I'm going to tell you the story of Thanksgiving. But Thanksgiving is always on the 4th Thursday of November. It's not always on the same date, like the 20th or the 25th or something like that, but it's always on the same day of the week. It's always on a Thursday. So the Pilgrims were people who lived in England, And they were not happy with the king because he said, you have to go to church this way. And they said, we don't want to go to church that way. And he said, well, you have to because I'm your king. And so what they did is they got on this boat called the Mayflower, and they sailed and they sailed and they sailed, and they landed in Massachusetts. And it was that's a state up north of us. And it was really cold. It was getting to be winter. So they actually stayed on the boat, but that year they didn't have enough food, and it was very cold on the boat, and almost half of them died. But when they came out, they thanked God for bringing them there. And and in springtime, they wanted to plant, but they didn't know what would grow there. And so they met two Native Americans. The first one they met was named Samoset, and he introduced them to a guy named Squanto. And Squanto could talk their language. And so he was able to talk to them and tell them how to plant and what would be good to hunt there so they would have plenty of food. Well, their gardens grew and grew, and they had lots and lots of food. They had so much food, they knew that they'd have plenty during the wintertime. And they wanted to thank their Native American Indian friends, and so they decided that they'd have a great big party. It's called and they would give thanks to their God, and they would give thanks to the Native Americans who helped them. And this is the head chief guy. His name was Wampanoag, and he came. I'm sorry, his name was Massasoit. Sorry about that. They were the Wampanoag Indians. And he came. That was a big deal to have the chief come. And they all gathered around, and they cooked, and they ate, and they ate, and they cooked, and they played all kinds of games. And Thanksgiving Day lasted for 3 whole days, just like the leftovers at your house will. And so they had a really good time. They got to be really good friends, and they were friends for years and years and years. But the most important thing about Thanksgiving Day is that is the day that we give thanks for everything that we have in our lives. Isn't that a great story? And it's a true story. Okay, now we want to sing a song that you hear a lot at Thanksgiving time. And Miss Kayla is going to flip the pictures to help you see. Now, some of these pictures are funny, and some of them are real pictures. You want to come on up? And we're going to sing this song. This is titled, We Gather Together. And it's a song you hear a lot of at Thanksgiving time. And Miss Sue's going to play music for us. If you know it, please sing with us. We gather together to ask the Lord's blessings. He chastens and hastens His will to make known the wicked oppressing, now cease from distressing. Sing praises to His name, He forgets not His own. Beside us to guide us, our God with us shining, ordaining, maintaining His kingdom divine. So from the beginning, the fight we were winning, the Lord were our side, our glory divine. Thank you so much, and you all have a great Thanksgiving. Take care.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, can we give Miss Sue and Miss Kayla a hand for all the work they did today? I can't call it. Thank you. Y'all take care. Be safe.